just under 45 minutes together today. I do have a few slides I'll share before handing to David. Let me do that now. So I work for HEE, and I lead on a number of work stream areas in the NHS Project Futures programme. Some of you will be aware of the NHS Project Futures programme. If you aren't, and this is very new to you, you can email me, and I'll put that in the chat when I hand to David, and you're welcome to ask any question around that. But today I'm going to be facilitating a lunch and learn on the Level 6 Project Management Apprenticeship. Some of you may have been taken part in the NHS Project Futures Festival in February, which was launched by Dr. Navina Evans, who's our CEO at HEE. So that was the place that the apprenticeships were launched officially after about 12 to 15 months worth of work. So the lunch and learns, we've done a few actually. This is kind of the last of the series, if you like. We had a couple in March, which aren't on this slide, but in April we had 3, and David's is the last of that series. You can access these recordings because, as I've described to you, they are available on our healthcare project delivery community on YouTube. So those can be accessed by anyone, and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you wish to see other videos coming up. The festival, which took place in February, all of the recordings from those sessions are available on there too, so you can look back at those, along with some interesting case studies that were captured from PMO regional leads during the COVID pandemic last year, which is obviously very much still with us at the moment. So yeah, you're welcome to visit there. Meet the team. So I just wanted to take a few moments to introduce a couple of people, depending on which area you're based in, of which we've 8 regions in the NHS Project Futures programme. Some of you will work to different regions, and that's absolutely fine. There are contacts for each, the PMO regional lead and the regional apprenticeship lead. So these are people, the regional network leads are listed here, Neil down to Nick, for each region. This is a hyperlink which will take you to their contact details. So for example, the Midlands is led by Gareth Nichols, who had a PMO regional network, which was attended by between 40 and 50 people last week, which brings together people from the Midlands who are involved in project programme or portfolio delivery in NHS services. That includes CCGs, ICSs, and organisations such as HE. So if you want to get involved in those, you'll find the details on this link here, and I will share the slide deck so you can do that. Alongside those, you've got the regional HE apprenticeship leads. So these are people, they're subject matter experts. They are the conduit between the programme that we're here to talk about today and those trusts that are accessing the programme. So they're very much around advice, support, and implementation of these apprenticeships to your individual organisations. So between the two of those contacts, you have someone that you can speak to around what's happening in your network, your regional networks for PMO, how you can support each other, and who to connect with. And then you have alongside that apprenticeship leads that can give that advice and support. So for those of you on the call today that are interested in starting an apprenticeship, then you can reach to one of these apprenticeship leads who should be connected to your organisational apprenticeship lead. They might have a different job title depending if it's a sort of a hybrid of roles. But yeah, those are your two main contacts for the programme. This leads into the apprenticeship providers, of which David is one, and here to talk about the Level 6 Project Management Apprenticeship. But you'll have a list of people that we've selected through the procurement program exercise we did, which, trust me, is extremely long, very detailed, and takes a lot of time and effort and resource. So the fact that we've done this for you, if you are a person accessing Levy through your organisation, we've done this for you. So we've taken the legwork out and we've cherry picked the very best that's out there. So those are the contact details for each. And again, I'll be sharing these, so you're welcome to get in touch with anyone listed there. So the idea being, between the contacts here, and myself, Mike Gray at HE, you have a range of technical, academic, and apprenticeship information that you can access and ask questions. So it's really, because it's quite new, there's still a few things to iron out, but the idea is that you have it's really accessible, and it's really easy to get the information you need. And it's just then the case of actually planning this into your organizational PDPs or one-to-ones, so you can access that form of learning. The project management level 6 for the NHS is critical in so many ways. The level 6 project management apprenticeship isn't new. It's been going on for a while. I don't think it's particularly well publicised in the NHS, but we're hoping to do more of that. The NHS is such a broad, complex. I've been working in it 10 years, and I still find new and interesting things each day. But there's an opportunity for those that undertake a level 6 project management to share that learning that comes with being on that long-term learning commitment, whether that be frontline or whether that be HE, which is a little further from frontline services, but still has a really important part to play in the system. And so at the end of the apprenticeship, you should have, breadth and depth of knowledge of project management and how to apply that in your role, but also it will stimulate career discussions, stimulate learning, collaborative learning with you and your counterparts. And you'll see in all of these slides, we've got equality, diversity, inclusion at the heart of everything we're doing. And it's really important that we make apprenticeships accessible to all, and that we improve the balance of those coming into the profession and making it really accessible. So these are some of the benefits. They're not all the benefits, but some of the benefits that can be had from a person going on an apprenticeship. So individual and systemic. I think it's important to distinguish the differences and similarities between the two. And yet, we will be sharing with you some links that you can share with your colleagues and with your line managers around what is an apprentice. So for some, I think there's still a bit of a stigma attached to what an apprentice is.
Come off lunch now.
And there's a lot of actually work we can do collaboratively to break those barriers down. But they offer some real benefits to the organisation, and I'll be sharing those links with you shortly. A final, penultimate slide is there are some documents that we've produced that if you haven't got access to, I will share those as well. One is the summary of each of the programs. So it's only a short document, 4 pages, but it articulates a little bit more about each of the programs, and what the entry requirements are, learning commitments, so how long are they, and things like that. So, and the cost, importantly, which is levy payment. So it's not a cost to your organisation because they're already paying levy arrangements. So it's free essentially. But it's just about how do you draw down that funding, and the employer access guide will describe that. And then you can link to your apprenticeship regional leads to get more advice, and with your organisational lead, they'll be able to understand the mechanics of that, ensuring that that's all there and ready and available. My final slide is, just some contact details. If you need to get in touch, there's the email address, which I mentioned earlier, and I'll put that in the chat once I hand to David. I was based in an office in Blenheim House in Leeds. Haven't been in that office for such a long time, like most of us working from home now, but that's where I was based for 2 and a bit years. We've got a YouTube channel, as you've seen. We also have a LinkedIn group, and I'll put that in the chat. So if this is a closed LinkedIn group for those in project management, whether that's those that have project management as a secondary skill set. There's people in there that you can network with, and you'll get to hear of all the news that's happening in the profession and how to link with people in your local area. We've got a Twitter account as well. I'll put that in the chat. And yeah, that's it really for me. If you haven't already, I would suggest you register on Knowledge Hub, and I'll put the link in the chat, because that's where a lot of the material you'll see from this Lunch and Learn and others will be housed. So it's a place you can just dip into and dip in and out of. And it's also a place where you can start an apprenticeship discussion. So David and others will be registered on there. So if you've got a question, you can put it on there and it'll be picked up and answered. And that way, everyone can have access to it. And if someone's got the same kind of question, they can have a look and see who else has asked that. So yeah, and I'll put that in the chat too. So that's my bit. Before I hand to David, is there any questions on any of that? Anything you'd like to ask me, or any comments, anything like that? No. Lovely. Okay. Thanks very much. So David, I'll hand to you. I'll stop sharing. Would you like me to share the YouTube video to start with, David, or when's best?
No, I'll give you the cue.
All right.
That's all right. I've sent you a couple of links. So there's 2 points, one in the middle and one at the end.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Great. So I'm just loading that up now. So yes, good afternoon, everyone. Very pleased to be able to speak to you this afternoon about Coventry University's Level 6 Project Manager degree apprenticeship. My name's David Ellis, and I'm an assistant professor in project management and the course director. We also have on the call this afternoon my colleague Anthony, who's the curriculum lead, our lead project management expert, if you like, within the School of Strategy and Leadership. I think probably an important place to start is that apprenticeships aren't new to the university. We've been delivering them since 2018 across a variety of disciplines, everything from sort of nursing, health and life sciences to engineering, construction, education, and so forth, and also delivering at a variety of levels, so from level 4 up to master's level 7. And the project manager degree apprenticeship, we launched it in September last year. We've got 2 cohorts enrolled at the moment, 2 cohorts of students. It's a 4-year programme, and like any apprenticeship really, there's an on-the-job learning component, where you apply what you've learned within your workplace, and there's the off the job, which is more the academic component. Our apprentices study 100 credits of modules in their first 3 years and 60 credits in their final year. And with those 360 credits, which includes the endpoint assessment, that provided you pass that, that's the requirement for a Bachelor of Science with honours degree in project management. Now, the apprenticeship has been designed, the standard has been designed by the Association of Project Management, the APM, and as part of that standard, apprentices need to take the APM's PMQ project management qualification. We introduced that within the programme at the end of year 2. When students successfully complete the apprenticeship, they're eligible for full membership of the APM. I mean, normally you would need to have several years experience, but because of the applied nature of the apprenticeship, the APM is happy to grant full membership on passing the apprenticeship. Just want to take you through the content in a bit of detail. I think that the starting point really is that projects don't happen in isolation. They're there to achieve some strategic objectives. They're about introducing and managing change. So the apprenticeship journey starts with students taking modules on the business environment and the internal environment of the organisation, understanding the factors that influence an organisation's strategy and that might go into a business plan for a new change initiative. They also cover financial management so that they're aware of how to budget and manage costs. And then also in the first year we include a foundations of project management module, so that covers all of the basics, if you like, quite a broad syllabus. And a very practical module, design your own project, where students work in groups to design and execute their own projects. So they're putting their learning into practice. In the second year, we focus more on detailed aspects of project management, on methodologies, schedule and resource management, procurement, contracts, and business analytics, which would include things like Six Sigma, so using data to inform decision making. In year 3, the emphasis is a bit more strategic, so we're looking at portfolio management, programme management, governance, risk management, quality management, managing and leading people. And at the end of that third year, apprentices will be preparing a proposal for their large work-based project that forms their endpoint assessment. And then in the final year, there's one more academic module, managing change, and the endpoint assessment itself, which is a 6-month work-based project that is assessed, and those credits go towards the degree classification. That's why it's an integrated degree apprenticeship. Now, I've sort of taken you through the topics, but I think project management is an evolving discipline, and important topics like methodologies aren't just covered in one module. They feature at various points through the programme. So I mentioned that design your own project module, or that encourages students to use Google Ventures Sprint approach. We have the Foundations of Project Management module, Foundations of Project Management, and that covers at a reasonably high level, I suppose, the principal methodologies, but then we go into more detail in the second year, looking at APM's body of knowledge, Agile, Scrum, Kanban and hybrid approaches. We look at Six Sigma in business analytics, and the final year managing change module includes Agile change management. Another theme that runs across the separate modules covering different disciplines is soft skills. It's not just about learning tools and techniques, but it's developing those communication skills, ability to negotiate, emotional intelligence, some of these things that really do make a difference in delivering a project successfully. We have some modules with quite a large focus on soft skills. So again, the design your own project module, students work in groups, and in doing so, they're going to go through the normal stages of forming, storming, norming, where that will expose them to some of the pressures and the tensions of a live project. We run a continuous professional development program for our apprentices, and that they can choose particular workshops, maybe on negotiating skills or assertiveness, but we also encourage them to engage with the APM and the project management profession by attending their events, conferences, webinars, and we award CPD points that goes towards their assessment. And then the other aspect where soft skills are tested, if you like, is within our business simulation suite. We've got a little video about this later on, but learning isn't just about sitting in a lecture theatre and learning about new techniques. It needs to be experiential, and certainly for some soft skills, the best way of helping apprentices to develop those important soft skills is for them to try them out. And so we have a simulation suite where we can set students particular scenarios, business games. We have one where they have to plan an ascent of Everest with all of the risks and challenges and probably ethical and moral dilemmas that come into that. But that enables them to put those skills into practice and learn, possibly through their mistakes. So just a quick overview of the programme. As I say, 100 sort of academic credits in the first 3 years. We cover 2 modules per 12-week semester, and the university runs 3 semesters per year. Assessment is always top of people's agenda when I talk to prospective apprentices, or how's the course assessed? Well, I hope the pie chart here puts some minds at ease. There is one examination. I think it's in the 3rd year, but as you can see, a lot of the assessment is based on coursework. There's some online tests. We use those more in the 1st year to assess basic understanding. And then we have individual reports and evaluations. Maybe that's applying a particular technique. I deliver a module on program management. We look at benefits management. So the assessment there is to create a benefits map for a particular program. But the other sorts of assessment might be an evaluation of how project governance is it effective within your own organisation? Or what about change management? Evaluate the last time a change was introduced and how was that done? So we use the learner's workplace as the context for many of our assessments. And then there's the reflections. I think they're an important part because that's encouraging students to look at their own skill set, their own development needs, and to look to the future and yes, do some action planning. In terms of support for our learners, I think it's important to recognise that some apprentices may not have studied academically for a number of years. So we do pay particular attention about helping students to beef up or become competent with their academic skills, their ability to search for information in the library, to reference, to understand what critical analysis means. And so we offer support with that aspect as part of the induction programme. And we have a number of dedicated centres within the university to help students and apprentices. And we have a centre for academic writing. We have a similar one for numerical support, our Six Sigma Centre. And of course, there's the library and our subject librarians. In terms of your tutors, well, we have a large network of staff within my own School of Strategy and Leadership. We're the ones delivering the programme. There are something like 120 academics, so a large pool of staff to choose from. Many, like myself and like Anthony, have industry experience. I've worked in the telecom sector for 18 years. I've worked in not-for-profit, the charity world for 5. I've done freelance project management work on supporting contracts for the Home Office and the Cabinet Office. So I have other colleagues who have had significant positions within the automotive sector, and so bring that experience, that industry experience, to the classroom. Many are members of professional institutions, and all are qualified teachers. So if we recruit a new member of staff from industry, the first thing that we put on is our higher education teaching course. I think the other important point to mention is that Coventry University was awarded the gold rating in the recent Teaching Excellence Framework. Or I think 130 plus universities across the country were assessed. We are awarded gold, and word on the street is we came second out of 130, which I think is pretty impressive. In terms of the delivery of the apprenticeship, we're flexible. We can do face-to-face, classroom-based at the Coventry campus or our London campus. We have another campus in Scarborough, although whether they haven't made inquiries as to whether we could deliver there. It may well be possible. But we can also do fully online. And of course, through the pandemic, in September, we started fully face-to-face. At Christmas, we shifted to fully online, and we're about to go back to, well, blended, some face-to-face and some online. At present, our current apprentices study for 1 day per week, with the other 4 days spent in the workplace. But we're open to suggestions from employers. We could look at a more block delivery, perhaps 3 days on campus every 3 weeks or something like that. We are flexible. In terms of online delivery, we use a social e-learning platform called Aula, rather like Slack, but it's very much to support peer-to-peer learning as well as tutor-to-peer. We provide pre-sessional activities, that might be some recorded lectures or reading material, reflections. We run, if we're doing the entire delivery online, then we'd run some live lectures, live seminars, but also include lots of opportunities for students to collaborate, to work together. And for that, we use different tools like Padlet and Zoom or Kahoot. And then outside of those live sessions is the asynchronous support, where students can support each other, kind of through a WhatsApp-like feature that Aula provides, and tutors can contribute to that discussion. just going back to the university's accolades, Coventry was awarded the highest rating in the QS Stars online learning assessment recently in recognition of our online credentials and abilities. This is the point, Mike, if you could just play the first link that I sent you, that would be great.
Yeah, no problem, David.
From September 2020, every course across the Coventry University group will be included on Coventry's Aula Learning Experience platform. Designed to provide a truly integrated learning community, the platform can be accessed from any online device, anywhere, at any time. Students will have direct online access to academics, fellow students, and course materials, with a dedicated course feed. Learning is designed to be interactive, integrating with other software tools to enhance your learning experience. Thousands of our students have used Aula alongside their face-to-face studies already. So, when looking at what works best for you, look at a university that's constantly pushing the boundaries of learning technology to offer their students the best learning experience possible.
That's great, thanks, Mike. Let's see if I can get back to where I was. I'm probably going to reshare, I suspect. Here we go. Yeah. Just to highlight some other aspects of support, I think there's a lot more than just the taught elements of the apprenticeship. Tripartite meetings are a very important aspect, because that's the point where academic tutors and apprentices' workplace mentors meet with the apprentice to discuss and review how is the learning going. So those meetings take place every 12 weeks, and it's an opportunity to look at opportunities to apply the learning within the context of the workplace, that on-the-job learning component that I mentioned at the beginning. Now, there's other support. Yes, I'm course director, and I have supported by a course management team and the academic tutors, of course, so they're available to support apprentices. We have a system of progress coaches where an apprentice can book an appointment online or face-to-face with a progress coach, and that can cover pastoral issues as well as academic ones. And then we have the university's facilities, the library, the specialist librarians, our Centre for Academic Writing, and our Sigma Math Support Centre. As part of the course fees, if you like, students receive all electronic versions of all the essential core textbooks that they need, and that's through our Biblio ebook platform, and that stays with them after they graduate. They can it's not a you can check out a book and have access to it for a number of months. No, the books are yours, and even beyond graduation and after leaving university, you still have access to them. There's free printing credits if that's a useful thing, and then we have some specialist teaching facilities, particularly the business simulation suite, and I think this is the point where I'd like Mike to share the final little video.
Sure, no problem, David.
My name is Dominik Podgorski. I'm a second-year student of an international business management course. facilities, I would say, in Coventry University are really top-notch. Especially the business simulations, it really helped me. There was an escape room, some games, some VR experiences, simulations where you can find yourself, what do you want to do in future, and actually enjoy what you do.
We try to bring business to life, not just through practical application, but also through giving students a skill-based education. Negotiations such as problem solving, these are a little bit difficult to learn from a textbook or just applying theory, so we try to create simulation environments, whether it's role play, whether it's using online activities, to help them hone those skills or develop those skills, so then when they go to the workplace they have these competitive elements that employers are looking for.
My name is Dominic.
Oops. Great. So yeah, the Business Simulation Suite, it's available both to our apprentices and our regular undergraduates and postgraduates. So I think that's everything. I've just got one slide with an email address for sort of further inquiries. Let me just move on to that. There we go. Doesn't show the email address. I'll put that in the chat.
Great, thanks very much, David. That was absolutely brilliant. And hope those that are with us today and those listening back to this and sharing it with colleagues are inspired by what you've shown us today. I thought that was certainly from my end very insightful and useful information, and hopefully that's given people a real insight into the apprenticeship at Coventry University and inspired them to think more about going on that learning pathway and engaging with their colleagues and spreading the news, really. We don't have long before the session comes to a close, so I think it'd be useful just for a couple of minutes. If anyone's got any questions, I know we've only got a couple on the call this afternoon, but if anyone wants to add anything, please feel free to put your hand up or pop something in the chat. In terms of, I've got a question for you, David. In terms of the application process, could you just talk through that and when the next start date is likely to be?
Yes. This is really handled by my colleague Chetna, and it's actually
of course
email
it
address
is.
that
Yeah.
I've popped into the chat. In our sort of open apprenticeship, we offer 3 entry points during the year: May, September, and January. Now, if there's a sufficient number to warrant a closed cohort, and that's certainly one of the things that I think you might be interested in, then we can there's flexibility there as well. I know of other sort of corporate partners who've asked for a dedicated closed cohort, and that's to suit their timing, and we're able to accommodate that within our sort of academic processes.
Great, thanks very much. I think we were looking at both options, and that was one of the reasons your bid stood out. I think a closed cohort would be good, but an open cohort would provide some learning that's outside of the NHS, and I think that's always a good thing, isn't it?
You're right, and I think when you look at the variety of our 2 cohorts so far, we have they're not huge, 20 students, but we've got 3 or possibly 4 from the NHS, others from civil engineering, from another university, from a leading automobile association, from College of Policing.
Right, excellent.
Yeah, quite a variety, and of course they all bring their own experience. They may not have experience or be experts across the spectrum of project management, but they've perhaps got significant experience in one particular area.
Absolutely.
And they can share that with everybody else. So it really is, well, I say a joy to teach, but I think from the learner's perspective, they learn a lot from each other.
Absolutely. No, that's fascinating and really insightful. And I think that's what the NHS Project Futures is looking to encourage, that cross-organisation, public-private sector learning that goes on, so that we are bringing new ideas and new ways of working into the way the NHS delivers patient care and gets value for money as much as we can from it. So, well, thanks very much, David. Anthony, thanks very much to you as well.
Thank you.
I suspect I'm going to be sharing this on various platforms this afternoon. We'll be in touch again very, very shortly. And thanks very much, David.
Great.
Anthony.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Enjoy the rest of your afternoons.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.